So the last couple of days have probably been some of the hardest days of my life. A lot of feelings of inadequacy, like I'm a failure, like I wasn't as strong as I thought I was. And yet, if it wasn't for your guys' prayers, I think it would have actually been worse. Thank you for reaching out. Thanks for letting me know you were praying for our family. Truly, we could not be doing this journey without you. So this is just a quick update to let you know that we weren't able to continue fostering. And like I mentioned, I just feel like a failure. When God brings someone along in your life that you have a desire to help and to love, it's really hard when you're not the one to do it. Because I've just spent all weekend literally crying. I've got very little sleep. And I've just been talking things over with the Lord and just spending time in His Word and praying. And really this morning, He gave me one of my favorite Bible stories that for some reason had not even been in my head at all during this time, but yet He brought it to my memory. The story of Joseph is a young man who's from quite a dysfunctional family. Okay, we all know that. And his brothers sell him into slavery. What? All through Joseph's life, it was one trial after another. Okay, so he's his dad's favorite son. He gets sold into slavery. He ends up in Egypt. I'm pretty sure culture and a language he didn't even know. And he still does what's right. And he finally works his way up to the head of Potiphar's household. A Hebrew slave, the head of an Egyptian household? You gotta be kidding me. Finally, it's all good. He's probably settled in. No, Potiphar's wife lies, and Joseph ends up in jail. So Joseph still makes the best of his life. I'm sure prison wasn't fun. And then he helps two of the king's men, the baker and the butcher, and I always get confused which one is which, but he tells them the meaning of their dreams. He says, when you get back to Pharaoh's house, don't forget me here in prison. They did forget him in prison. So he spends more years in prison. Finally, eventually he gets out and he's able to interpret Pharaoh's dreams, and he rises to second to Pharaoh, and he's able to actually save his entire Hebrew family. Yes, folks, the ones that sold him into slavery to begin with, because the way that God orchestrated all the details in his life to be sold into slavery to begin with, to work his way up in the ranks in Egypt, because there was a famine in the land, and Joseph was able to save his entire family. When Joseph finally meets his brothers again, and they are afraid because, of course, now he's a very powerful person, they're afraid for their life. And you know what Joseph did? He welcomed them in with open arms, and he said, what Satan meant for harm, God meant for good. This is just a reminder to me that when circumstances aren't going the way we want in life, it's because there's sin in the world. Satan tries to destroy all that is good, but God is still greater. God is still bigger, and what Satan meant for harm, God is going to mean for good. So even though we're not at the end of this story yet, and we don't know, I have confidence that God is in control of this situation. I have confidence that all the forces against us is Satan, and he wants it for harm. But if we allow God to do this, One day we're going to look back and we're going to give him all the glory, and it's going to be amazingly wonderful that God meant all of this for good. So even though our life here in the country seems picturesque, it's so beautiful, I really do come to you with a broken heart. And I'm going to be grieving for some time. And yet I'm still going to hold God's hand. And one day, maybe years down the road, I'll be able to update this video and I'll get to show you all the good that came from this really tough, horrible, heartbreaking decision. So Friday was a really tough day for me, and when I was probably crying the hardest I have cried, I don't know, maybe ever, I'm not sure. It was just a soul-wrenching cry, really. And I found out a couple of days later that at that very moment of my heart really just truly being broken, a friend of mine at that exact moment stepped into glory. She had fought a long, hard battle with cancer, and now she's rejoicing with the angels. Thank you so much for watching and for loving on our family.